quiet heartland, where fields of gold stretched as far as the eye could see, lived an old farmer named Briggs. His life was simple, marked by the rhythm of the seasons and the comforting companionship of his loyal dog, Patches. Every single morning, as Briggs headed out to work his land, Patches would trot alongside him to the farm gate. And every evening, without fail, Patches would be right there, tail wagging, waiting for his return. This daily ritual was the bedrock of their bond, a silent promise between man and dog. But as the years turned, Briggs's steps grew slower, his hands less steady. The time came when he had to hang up his overalls and sell the farm he had worked his entire life. He found a small, quiet cottage in a nearby town, a peaceful place to spend his golden years. Of course, Patches came with him. The new home was comfortable, but something was different. The familiar scent of earth and hay was replaced by manicured lawns and paved streets. One morning, Briggs woke to find Patches gone. Panic set in. He searched the house, the small yard, and called his name until his voice was hoarse. He drove through the town, his heart pounding with every passing minute. Finally, a thought struck him, a desperate, unlikely idea. He drove back to his old farm. And there, sitting patiently by the familiar rusty gate, was Patches, his eyes fixed on the long dirt road, just as he had done for years. Briggs's heart ached with a mix of relief and sorrow. He gently coaxed Patches into the car, whispering reassurances. But the next morning, it happened again. Patches was gone, only to be found back at the old farm gate. This became their new, heartbreaking routine. Every day, Briggs would have to retrieve his faithful friend from the place that was no longer theirs. He tried everything: new toys, tastier treats, longer walks around the new town, but nothing could break Patches' unwavering vigil. The dog was convinced that his master would one day return from the fields, just like he always had. The new owner of the farm, a kind man named Mr. Thompson, was understanding. He'd often call Briggs to let him know Patches had arrived. "He's not bothering anyone," Mr. Thompson would say. "He just sits and waits." This went on for 12 long years. Patches grew old and gray, his movements slow, his eyes clouded. But his loyalty never wavered. Every day he could, he made the journey back to the gate. Briggs watched his best friend fade, his heart heavy with a love so deep it hurt. He knew Patches was holding on, waiting for a life that was gone. The daily trips to the old farm became a pilgrimage of shared memories and unspoken goodbyes. Then, one quiet morning, Patches didn't wake up. He passed away peacefully in his sleep, his long watch finally over. The silence in the cottage was deafening. Briggs felt a profound emptiness, a void that only Patches could fill. A week later, a letter arrived from Mr. Thompson. He expressed his condolences and mentioned that while cleaning out the old barn, he'd found a small weathered box tucked away in the rafters. It had Briggs's name on it. Curious, Briggs drove out to the farm one last time. Inside the dusty box was a collection of items from his late wife, who had passed away many years ago. Shortly after they got Patches as a puppy, there was a faded photograph of her, smiling, holding little Patches in her arms. Beneath it was a small, leather-bound journal. As Briggs opened it, his hands trembled. His wife's elegant handwriting filled the pages. She wrote about her illness, her fears, but most of all, her love for him and their new puppy. On the last page, she'd written a final entry. She described a game she used to play with Patches. Every morning after Briggs left for the fields, she would take the puppy to the gate to see him off. Then, she would whisper in the dog's ear, "Go find him, bring him home safe," before letting him run into the fields after Briggs. Patches would always find him and spend the day by his side. Then she wrote about the day she became too weak to walk to the gate. She sat on the porch and told Patches, "Daddy's gone to work. You have to wait for him at the gate now. Wait there and make sure he comes home safe to me." Tears streamed down Briggs's face as the truth hit him with the force of a tidal wave. For 12 long years, Patches hadn't been waiting for him to come home from the fields. He was keeping a promise. He was obeying the last command his first loving owner had ever given him, to wait at the gate and make sure his master came home safe. The dog's unwavering loyalty wasn't just for him. It was a final loving act for the woman they had both lost so long ago. Briggs sat by the rusty gate, a journal in his lap, and looked out over the empty fields. He finally understood the depth of his dog's devotion. It was a love that transcended time, memory, and even life itself. Patches wasn't just a good dog. He was a guardian, a keeper of a sacred promise. And in that moment, Farmer Briggs knew that such a profound bond was a gift he would cherish for the rest of his days. Thank you for watching. If this story touched your heart, please like, share, and subscribe for more moving stories. We'll see you in the next video.